So I would say my guest today is the heart and soul of professional wrestling. Without this man, I would say it's nearly impossible to have a solid professional wrestling show in the state of Arizona. Someone who dedicated his life, someone who's very passionate about this business, someone who willing to give everything, someone who shows up the first and leave at the last. Ladies and gentlemen, today my guest on Shoot and Stiff Wrestling podcast, I would like to call him the brain of Arizona professional wrestling scene. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Behrens, aka the president of AWWA, Chris Behrens. Sir, welcome to the show.
Hey, good to see you. How you been?
And doing great. Memphis, Tennessee. It's getting cold. I'm having a good hot, warm tea here.
Mm.
And it's always amazing to talk wrestling, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this episode is about you. So listeners from Arizona, I'm sure people, fans from Georgia, they have heard about you because you came to Georgia last year in 2024 for one of our show, and you being in charge of some of the operations for AWWA and also many other wrestling organizations out there. So I want to know when and where this crazy that business that we all call pro wrestling. How did it start? It.
Well, for me, it started back when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My dad took me to a show when I was real young, and I watched uh, Steve Gatorwolf, the Cherokee Warrior, um, be the main event for a show coming to Prescott Valley here. And I watched whoever his opponent was take a pen and hide it in his trunks, and when the ref wasn't looking, would stab him in the arm with it. And let's see, he they didn't have enough security, so I ran right up to the ring and was slapping my hand on the mat to try and get the ref's attention on that, and I was hooked. That one match is what started it all. I started watching wrestling after that, and um, I always wanted to be a part of it. But I live in rural Arizona. I'm 100 miles north from the city, so trying to get to a school, and at the time, the only one that was available was the Ultimate Warriors University, which once I got into the industry, I've come to find out that wasn't a well respected school.
Oh wow!
Um, but um, because I'm so far away, it was like, all right, well, it's just not going to happen. And I ended up having kids out of high school, and so it was like, well, if wrestling's going to happen, it's gonna have to come to me. Well, shortly after I said that, um, an AWA show appeared, coming to Yavapai College here, and that is where I got to meet Steve Islas, the Navajo warrior. Um, a group of four of us started asking around at the show. It's like, how do we get involved? How can we do it? And all of them pointed to Steve. And so we went over and we talked to Steve, and he said, well, first thing you got to do is show up. And he said, we're actually going to do a show over in Cottonwood, and if you would like to help and show up, help set up the ring, we can show you a few things before the show. Um, and that was that was 2001, 2002.
Wow! Right when Vince
And
purchased WCW, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
on that same show, you had Justin Roberts, who was just getting his start as announcing, and uh, last night was IZW's farewell to Nav, and they brought Justin back for that, and he was saying that uh, he was a big part of uh, him getting his opportunities to announce. He owes a lot to him, and I happened to be there at the same time. I don't know if I
Wow.
saw him on his first day, but I saw him within his first year, I think.
Well, isn't that what they say? Like life is a full circle.
Yeah, yeah. So after that, it was um, you know just showing up and trying to get in just a little bit of training here and there, but um, getting to roll around in the ring doesn't uh, it doesn't substitute actually going to school and training on a regular basis. So becoming a full fledged wrestler just wasn't in the cards. I was just too far away. So what could I do with what I had available to me? Steve allowed me to referee, and well, those are the cards that I'm dealt. That's what I'm going to go with. And so my time in wrestling has been to show up and help put on a show and referee where I can.
Now, let me take you back for a quick second because sometimes this is how you get the diamonds and gold when you dig deep in the world of pro wrestling. I got a chance to do a podcast with the great Gary Marshall last year, and I had no idea that he got a chance to work with the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and I had no clue that he knew Cody Rhodes way before Cody even got into wrestling, and he showed me the pictures and everything. And he used to work with Dusty in Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling. Now, talking about that, you barely mentioned about the Ultimate Warriors Wrestling University. I'm sure the listeners they would have fun. This is like a gem. They're like a gold, like a diamond. Please walk me through, walk the listeners through what it was. What was the Ultimate Warrior Wrestling University?
Well, the only thing that I know about that was what the magazine, the WWE magazine. This is like 1996. Um, that I was hearing about this when I was.
When he came
Uh,
back and at the
yeah,
WrestleMania against Hunter on Triple H.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was the only one that I knew that even existed in the Valley, and so we looked into it. We had a phone number to call, and by the time we tried calling, there was just nowhere to go with it.
That's right, the madman's back. I'm the warrior. You know who I am. But rumor has it, you think you got what it takes to be a pro wrestler. Well, now's the best opportunity you'll ever have. Because success in pro wrestling is much more dependent on uniqueness and personality and character. Athletic ability. A desire like a warrior. If you think you got what it takes, call Warrior University.
And so, yeah, that first day that I referred to in Cottonwood, I wore an Ultimate Warrior shirt, and it was like, you need to take that off. It just, yeah, come to find out, yeah, he was taking people's money and just kicking their ass. and
So who was the trainer? Was it like a full wrestling
it was
school?
him for what I knew. I've only seen like one video out of that school, and yeah, he was very he was very mean and brash in that video. So I can't speak to how he did things, but the people I was surrounded with said um, that wasn't the best option in the valley. And come to
Oh
find out,
wow.
yeah, at the same time, Nav was developing his own school, and
Hmm.
so that's where I I came in, and yeah, I didn't get to train much to be a wrestler, so I'm not a wrestler.
But you still got a chance to talk to him and got a chance to pick his brain, the Ultimate Warrior, or
No,
never
no,
happened?
no, no. The stars that I've come in contact with, again, I owe a lot of those to Steve. Um, a lot of those shows were based out of the ICW locker room and those affiliates, AWA, UPW. So as far as legends go, people that I did get to meet, we're talking, guys like the Honky Tonk Man. I worked with Greg Valentine at one time, um, Ted DiBiase. Uh, uh, there's many that I can say that I worked shows with. Um, but my favorite one was probably being involved at ICW Rodeo Nights for Mike Knox versus Jimmy Snuka for the title.
Wow.
That was one that I thought was really cool.
And this was back
Also got to
in
meet
early 2000 or mid of 2000, where
very
Mike,
early 2000. Yeah,
before Mike
my
Knox got signed with ECW.
this was before that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He
Wow.
he did some time in OVW, if I remember correctly, before he was brought up. So it was before
Yeah.
then.
Wow. So walk me through your process. You wanted to be a wrestler, of course, living in the Prescott Valley. So listeners, if you don't know anything about Prescott, I would say this: Prescott is like an hour and a half, pretty much, from Phoenix, Arizona, and it's kind of the same distance from the mountain town Flagstaff, Arizona, as well. And it's just kind of like a mountain town, Prescott Valley, Prescott. And the commute, it's kind of like isolated. It's kind of like away from everything. And I wouldn't say impossible, but it was just hard to go to places and do things. And that's the time this man, this individual right here, been accomplishing and doing all these things, making all that sacrifices, putting all those miles in his car. So walk me through your journey. You wanted to be a pro wrestler. Then obviously, due to the distance to travel, okay, you're getting a chance to be a referee, and I'm sure you wanted to do more, right? And we're talking about now this time WWE is the only company we all have, and WTNA is just coming up there, and no one really know what happened to NWA at that time. And MLW existed in the Florida territory, but pretty much wrestling was done. The only thing was the only big Titanic, and that is right there, the WW. Sorry, Titanic was WCW was gone. Then the only king is in the jungle. That was WWE. Have you ever thought about going to, or you wanted to try to get into WWE?
Well, that's everybody's dream in this business is to main event WrestleMania. Um, so yeah, getting into the business, there's always the high hopes of moving up, but you have to be able to commit to the work. And me, I had five. Uh, well, I at the time I had three daughters. Um, uh, me and their mother were separated, so I uh, I had to make a choice. Um, uh, I went home and raised my kids. I spent probably a good 7 years with IZW and getting to do shows with them. But eventually, it just got to the point where I had to put it down. It wasn't financially feasible, and yeah, I went home and raised my kids. Ended up in a relationship that lasted a decade, and um, uh, three turned into five. And, uh, yeah, I put wrestling down for almost as much time as I was in it. And when I walked away from wrestling at that time, uh, IZW actually shut their doors. the time almost completely coincides. Um, then
And this
fast
was
forward.
in the early 2005, 2006.
I think they closed their doors in like 2008. I
Okay.
Steve helped me put on a show up here in 2007, which is still available on YouTube.
All
Um,
right, so let's talk about that quick. And I wanted to go there, but again, I like I wanted to take the time and get there. So 2001. Let's fill up the gap quick. 2001 to 2008, right? 6 years, 7 years you've been doing it. And you mentioned the names like the Million Dollar Man, Ted DiBiase, Honky Tonk Man, and you were given this opportunity by Navajo Warrior, his promotion. Did you got a chance to go to any other state during this time or any other cities? Um, and got to get a chance to ref in any major televisions or any other promotion?
um, we did get to go up to Laughlin for UPW. Rage at the River is what it was called. I remember that one fondly. That was um, seeing Mike Knox, Chris Masters, Melina, um, Jack Bull, um, who was it? Alcatraz was there. Hardcore Kid, um, um, and Samoa Joe.
And what year was this?
Uh, uh, that was early 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. It's been a long time since I thought about that one.
So UPW, the same UPW. Later, the most of the stars
Yeah.
became the WWE TNA guys, and even I remember they released one of those VHS tapes, cassettes, how to be a pro wrestler. The UPW University, where Frankie Kazarian, Samoa Joe, John Cena, and all those guys
Yes.
were there.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to work with them back in 2002, around that time.
Yeah, and again, it was the same. It was the same scenario where we get a chance to roll around, hopefully before the show. And the more production you put into it, the less time there is for that sort of thing. Um, but yeah, in those cases, we got to pick the brains of uh, some of the up and comers in the business. Unfortunately, John Cena had already been signed by the time I got to UPW, and
Yeah.
uh, so it was neat to see that um, uh, that you had those up and comers coming through there. You definitely felt like you were in the right place.
I know you haven't met John Cena, you haven't got a chance to work with him, but this subject that I cannot ignore, that I have to ask. Over all these years, John Cena being a big part of WWE. He never been to any other companies. Of course, he was just part of Hollywood as well, and now he made his announcement to retire from pro wrestling, and I believe it's going to happen very soon. He will have his last match very soon. What do you think about his career, his accomplishments? I know he has nothing to do with this podcast, but I know you never met him as well. But you missed him like in that very close time. But still, knowing how big and popular he is, what is your opinion about John Cena?
He was definitely one to watch. Uh, the people that were around were watching him closely and uh, seeing him rise. It was definitely something to watch. Uh, he was trained by the same guys that I was, and that was a testament last night. Actually, they had video tributes to him, and Cena was one of them. And so knowing that the guy who brought me into the business is the same guy who John Cena is thanking for his career is was a big deal for me. So watching Cena was kind of like watching Steve's best work.
All right, so let's go to 2007, 2001 to 2007, we've been covering. So, again, just want to go quick. So, you've been refing from 2001 to 2007, 2008. Did you do anything else apart from refing? Did you ever thought of getting in the ring and take bums? And did you ever thought about becoming a manager between 2001 to 2007?
Well, again, that has a lot to do with the availability. So those options in in the first run just wasn't there. I mean, and that period of time, there was a lot of taboo in the locker room about like taking pictures. So uh, outside of actual memory, I don't have a lot to show for that first run. I really don't. Um, so it's like I got to be careful with what I say and what I remember, because it was like I don't remember it going down like that, Chris. Like, all right, well, um, uh, yeah, that first run was um, just me as a kid just trying to show up and do what I can, and uh, after the show that I put on, I uh, I really had to make a decision, and I decided to go home and uh, put it down. And I'm not sorry about that, but can't say that I didn't miss it. You know,
So let's before that again, let's get to that show. So from 2001 to 2007, you've been refing, you were living your life, you're living your dream, going to California, doing all these all these amazing, great shows, and meeting these great talents and legends. Now, how hard it was to bring professional wrestling to Prescott, and what made you to make that decision? Hey, I want to run a show. Okay, I've been doing this ref gig and I kind of like know what's happening, how this business is, and what was the decision, and walk me through the process of the first ever pro wrestling show under your guidance in Prescott Valley.
well, having seen IZW and getting to know the indies in the valley those first couple of years, and just listening and being under Steve's learning tree, um, it got to the point where it's like none of it is coming north. There's just nothing like this up here, and at the same time, we were getting our event center, and well, it's like, well, what can we do? I mean, it's a 5,000 seat venue. I mean, WWE is not going to be interested in this for anything. So, if we brought indies up here, that would be a good spot. And so, started thinking about it and brought it to Steve. It's like, look, there's nothing up here. We should try and do that. And he's like, well, I'm not in a position to expand, but if you wanted to throw a show together, we can help you do it. We'll throw the IZW name on it, and you can put the show on. You can do it however you want. And so he booked the talent, and I came up with a story to tell throughout the day, and um, yeah, me and my friend Nick, Nick Rogers um, is a friend of mine, and we go all the way back to high school. Even walked at graduation together of the first day. Um, but yeah, me and Nick put the show together, and I couldn't have done it without him. Um, but we did the one show, and we did the trials and tribulations of it. He wasn't a fan of doing it at the location that I decided, but Um, uh, I felt like it was our best chance, and it ended up being a one and done. But that that show means a lot to the both of us.
Let's just say, being as a promoter myself, I know how hard it is to run a show. What was the hurdles that you were facing? Because never done this before in Prescott Valley before, and you were bringing the pro wrestling in there. And what made you to decide, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this again. What was the I would say what was the pros and cons from it? Would you like to share? And again, this
Um,
is like I believe around 2008, 2000,
2007.
2007. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the negatives is probably the fundraising for it. We had one major sponsor, but we were working with the town of Prescott Valley, who had who has an entertainment division that brings out our festivals, things that the town puts on, and they would we watched them put on boxing right in front of Harkins Theater. We have a little town center entertainment district uh, where we have uh, a video game center, kind of like a Peter Piper Pizza, a generic version of that. Right there, mini golf, and all our major restaurants are right there. And there's just the town's Christmas tree um, is lit um, at this particular spot, and we ended up putting the ring right where that tree would go. Um, but because it's such a public thing, it was free to the public, so people would come and go, and we ended up having probably, we want to say, like 250, 300 people show up, and seat for the whole thing, get up, walk away. But we ran the show um, right there, but uh, because there were no ticket sales, it was it was a complete expense.
Wow.
And because it was the first one that we had tried under our own label, all of the expenses that we put on for the show were all inclusive in the loss for that show. So yeah, we started from scratch. We bought computers and printers, and we built the stage from scratch out of wood, and brought it in and hauled it. Um, uh, yeah, but I don't regret it at all. It was one hell of a show, one that we remember fondly.
And also, it's on the tape and it's available on YouTube. You said, right? Would you mind giving the informations to the listeners or fans if they wanted to look it up to this wrestling event that happened back in 2007? And do you remember the card? Who were in the card? The matches?
The matches included um, it was uh, uh, it was Navajo Warrior and Hawaiian Lion versus the Ballard Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan took on uh, a student named Sister Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, WWE versus TNA was like Kenji Zakota versus Frankie Kazarian.
Nice.
And the main event was uh, Hollywood Yates, also known as Wolf from American Gladiators, versus Relic, or Red Rock. And what we did is we had we called it Brawl for It All. So if you look up IZW Prescott Valley Brawl for It All, you should be able to find that. And what we did with that was created a story of um, uh, Red Rum winning his match against Hollywood by misting him in the face. And immediately we started a battle royal for the main event. And everyone in the locker room came back out. And the last one to come out was Hollywood wiping the mist off of his face. And the battle royal ensued, and it came down to him and Relic again, and they went back and forth, and um, Hollywood won. And what he won was like a 4-foot trophy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we even had a that trophy made specific for the event.
So, listeners, if you're listening to this, go to YouTube and search for ICW Prescott Valley, you get an opportunity to watch this Brawl for All amazing event that was organized and also produced by Christopher Behrens back in 2007. Now, you took a break for 6, 7 years. You came back, and I believe did you came back to SCW or did you start it with any other promotion? How did that happen?
What it was is IZW had closed its doors, and figured, well, that was the company that I worked for. Um, Probably not going to do it again, but they announced a retirement show, or not a retirement show, a reunion, and it was like, well, you got to drop everything. I'm going to be there, and um, I had the ability to do the show and referee that reunion show, and it was like catching the bug again. And um, it wasn't long after that I had my kids moved out, and the relationship went under, and I was on my own again. And uh, I decided, well, it's back. I have the ability now, so I'm going to come back. And talking to Nick about it, he had stayed in contact with Jay Garland, who was working with IZW back in the day. That's how we met him. He had stayed in contact with him the whole time. And he said, Jay's got something that he's about to start up. And so reach out to him and see what you want to do. And talking to Jay, he had 2 back-to-back shows that were bringing the SCW back for another run, and it was off to the races from there. Um, I got started with SCW.
Do you remember the year?
What's that?
Do you remember the year? Like, when
Well, it's been that was 2021.
14? Oh, 2021. Okay, right after the
Yeah,
pandemic, right?
yeah, yeah. So the gap is a decade. Yeah. So after the COVID and all that. Um,
So this is the year return show. I think this is where around I made my debut with SCW at the Sun Studios as well. I think
this was before Sun Studios.
before.
I
Okay.
made my debut at their, I believe it was a Halloween show.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 shows that were back to back. One at a Baptist church, and one up in the Pine Top area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went down to the church, and then immediately drove straight from one show to the other. And I was with SCW after that, and so Jay got my foot back in the door, and I tried going back to IZW at the time, and it was a whole brand new locker room. Surrounded by people um, who never met me and didn't care. So when you're that guy, it's really hard to get anything done. So I really had to tiptoe my way back into IZW until I got around people who remembered who
Yeah.
I was.
For me, meeting you, getting to know, and it was just a fascinating because I haven't really got a chance to meet a lot of people like you in the business who's very passionate about it. Now, 2021, you came back to the business again, started working for ICW, and also you tried something with ICW, and you were again full time referee at this time, right?
Hmm. Yeah. I forget what's. Oh, what started the ball rolling was once we were at Sun Studios with both IZW and SCW. Um, uh, Neil Chow, or who they call Old Man Bill from TWE, which is traditional wrestling entertainment out of Southern California. He was attending the shows, and that company is where Ramrock got his start. And so, meeting Bill at that show, he saw me referee and invited me out to TWE. Um, TWE led to Millennium Pro Wrestling, and I ended up getting in contact with Ryan Morals, um, who is networks like I I can't believe. Um, he knows so many people and has a high level of respect amongst those people. So I owe him a lot to my ability to move around. Um, he got me in contact with several people who were willing to give me a chance, which really started the ground running as far as going from promotion to promotion. And yeah, California ended up becoming Las Vegas. Las Vegas ended up becoming Colorado, and then uh, coming back home, that led me to you, and that's when Georgia happened for the first time.
And also you were involved in graphics and production aspects, and let's get into that.
Um,
When did you
well,
started? I mean, I'm sure you might have some sort of background in graphic designing or something. When
yeah.
did you started making flyers and posters for wrestling organizations?
Well, in that downtime, that 10-year gap, I decided if I can't do that, I need to go back to school and do something. And so I eventually set my sights on graphic design. So I ended up getting my associates in graphic design, and getting my diploma and all that. Um, but then there's just nothing up here to put that to use, and so I didn't do anything with it. I had it and had nowhere to go with it. Getting back into the business, I started talking to SCW about their poster work, and said, let me dust off my stuff and actually put my degree to use. And they allowed me to start making flyers for them, and it's like if I put together a portfolio, you can see it's like every single one got just better and better. The quality just got better and better, and Photoshop itself is um, just improved immensely. It's not the same program that I graduated school with. It's so much user friendly now. Uh, but they allowed me to use uh, my my skills and actually sharpen some really dull knives as far as skills go. Um, and I was able to make some pretty good stuff. It's not the best out there, um, but I'm actually pretty proud of what I've done, and I can see improvements in almost every single one.
And that's like some of the poster work you actually did. I don't know if you can even see. There's one of the posters hanging right behind me in my wall, and that is the open door event that we did on Saturday, August 24th in Georgia. That was one of your posters where Johnny Polk was kind of like standing outside a big
Oh
door.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I got Foundation and American Glory right above me.
great posters, great work. I remember we printed one of the biggest ones, and me, Martin Gesses, Gino, and some of these guys, Brandon Gatz, and all those guys. We went to a Marriott diner after the show. We had this big printed flyer, and we signed and we gave it to Gino, I believe. So anyway, so again, you were a referee. You were giving back a lot of things to the business. You started making posters and flyers. Now, walk me through what made you to decide, okay, I want to invest in the production. I want to get involved more. And when did that start? And when did that happen?
Well, sitting down with SCW management, it was shortly after I started doing the flyers. Um, uh, you know, you get to a point where you realize your age. You know, you come back to this business after a decade, and it's like, yeah, you can do it, but um, you're gonna feel it tomorrow,
Yeah.
and uh, you're gonna have um, students who are trying to get their foot in the door who want those spots as well. The issue with the schools is that those students are wanting to be wrestlers and they're not wanting to be referees. So they could care less about whether or not the referee work is quality. Um, so I was doing it because that's what I could do. So I want it to be I want it to be good, but there has to come a point where um, you start thinking beyond the in ring work. Well, if I can't do this, what good am I? Well, what can I do? So having the ability to sit down with upper management and start talking about um, you know ideas or storylines or production, how to make it better, what it's missing, what's the competition doing right. You start taking notice of equipment that's being used and whether or not you can afford to get that. And um, it became apparent that you know with all these different companies popping up, the production side of thing is like the last thing that money is spent on. So someone's got to do the investing on making the shows better. Like I love Frankie to death, the guy who does all of our ring rentals. Um, but he's got one trust, and so if you rent from him, you get the trust. It's been the same look for 20 years. Nothing wrong with that, but it's time to do better.
Yeah.
Um, so I started looking into it. I started buying some equipment. Started with doing the timekeeping stuff so that we can communicate with the referees and um, be able to have times times be kept, and uh, once once that was in place, it was like, well, let's start staging. And so one uh, one truss ended up being two trusses, and now the investment that has been put out, I could probably put on a wrestling show in my backyard if I wanted to. I
Oh
believe I
wow.
have everything I need to do that.
Have you ever thought about doing another wrestling show in Prescott?
Well, to do one on my own wouldn't make any sense at this point because I have Prescott Pro Wrestling up here, which I'm a part of. I work behind the scenes for that. I do the graphic design work for them. I refereed for them for a while, but um, that has uh, that has come to an end. I'm backstage now, and I'm making a point of being with the people who are bringing wrestling to Central Arizona, and so I have my role in that, and it doesn't have to be in stripes.
I mean, very, very true. I mean, you've been given so much to the world of pro wrestling, and just to say, if you can count, how many wrestling promotions you have worked as a referee? How many wrestling promotions that you have made posters and flyers for, and how many wrestling organizations out there that you provided your entrance and audio video equipments that you can think of?
Um, well, the good news is the video editing and graphic design stuff I could probably fit on one hand still. Um, Promotions that I've worked for at this point, I think the last time I counted was like somewhere between 14 and 17. Um, um, but as far as graphic design goes, um, I've done stuff for SCW, PWA, TWE. Um, I put something together for a Utah company that was like a desperate attempt to get them to do something. Like uh, there's so many bad flyers out there, and it was like they put one out, and it was like a cry for help. It's like, please let me help you, and they didn't take me up on the offer, but they most certainly upped their game after that.
And I want to share something since you mentioned it. So I was invited to do a wrestling show in Alabama. I forgot the name of the town, but no, it was actually it's in the border town of Alabama and Arkansas. I think the show was in Arkansas, but the promotion was based on Alabama. So I was booked in there, number 8, and me and one of my buddy, we both were booked, and I'm like, we're just a week away from the show. I couldn't find the flyers or posters anywhere. And I'm like asking the promoter, like, hey, where I can find the flyers and posters so that I can share it on social media and I can promote it everywhere. The promoter was like, oh, no, we don't have any flyers and posters. I'm like, so how this going to work? How are you going to sell tickets? Oh, we have some local guys. They just bring the fans. Okay. And I told him whenever you have flyers and posters, just let me know. I'll come and do it. It's not necessary that I have to be in a flyer and poster, but I need a flyer and poster, especially when you're running an entertainment, a pro wrestling. We need to tell the fans. We need to bring fans. Maybe you don't know. I might know some people who lives in the area, So when they see the flyers, hey, well, look at that. Vinicius wrestling there. Vikram is wrestling there. Let's go and check it out. And maybe my buddy who's coming from Georgia or someone else coming from Tennessee, they can bring some fans. And also a good poster and flyer represents a good promotion. I'm not saying he's running anything bad or anything like that, but that's not the way that I would do a wrestling promotion or business.
Right, right. I agree. You really do need to advertise, and being able to hand someone a flyer is a big part of that. Um, word of mouth is everything in this business. You got to be able to show them something and leave them with something.
And let me take you to Georgia quick. Now, of course, our relationship, we got a chance to meet through SCW. Jay was running the show. We had some great talents coming in, and that's how we got a chance to meet. And you got a chance to make some flyers for me. And finally, you decided, okay, let's come down to Georgia. And I know it was a very short period of time. You got a chance to work with, God bless his soul, Cornerman, Charles Hu, and Jeremy Paris, the whole tag team division, and your role. And again, I mean, of course, if listeners out there, they can go and watch the series of matches between Pretty Boys and the Unpredictable. But then you came in, you were dressed up like you're the corporate guy, but then you remove the suit and there's a referee T-shirt, and again you asked Kirsty to get out of the ring. So the whole segment and all that. How did that happen, and what was your experience working with those guys in Georgia?
Yeah, coming out and working with them was a lot of fun. Um, uh, seeing uh, seeing um, who was it? Buff Shea and Chrissy Buer um, coming out there and finding out that they were
And I don't know,
um,
you know this. I'm so sorry. For breaking this. They're married.
right,
They're
right.
officially married now. Yeah.
So I was coming out there and realizing that they were a thing, and uh, it was like um, you being out here and being a referee is a complete contradiction. You can't referee your man's matches, and so my having to come all the way out east, it was like I I I had to reprimand Gary. Um, like, I can't believe you let this go. Um, you can't work the matches. Um, so you two have your thing, but as long as this is a thing, you cannot ref his matches. And so I excused her and sent her to the back. And they were like, "Well, we need a referee for this match. What's going on?" And at that point, I took off my shirt. If you're going to do something right, do it yourself. And yeah, getting out of the suit and tie to reveal a referee thing takes a lot longer than you think, man. There's a lot of buttons on that shirt when you're having to do it in a timely manner. Um, uh, that was also the night of um, the first Warrior match
Yeah.
where we removed the ropes, and that was Ocean Avery versus El Lycan, and those two really got into it, and that was a ground and pound. That is a match to look up and see. Um, uh, Both of them are really proud of that match.
Yeah, we could have done more. I really wish we had the media. I really wish we had more uh, exposures, for those, because that was the first ever independent wrestling match we ever done without the ropes. I mean, of course, Josh Barnett did it with what is it called, the blood spot, whatever it was, blood spot, and yeah, this was the first time we did something like that without the blood. It's just a pure form of wrestling. You got a chance to be a part of that. And anything that you remember about Cornerman, any interactions working with him, his experience, anything?
Um, uh, that one experience was actually really short. Um, uh, the day of was just your typical thing. So um, I I didn't get to meet him and know him in a way that everyone else does, and that's really unfortunate because he most certainly left his mark out on the East Coast. I was
He wanted to come to Phoenix. Or the last conversation I had with him, he wanted to do our Cages show. He wanted to be a part of it. Yeah.
I, um, it was interesting to see what he was going out to Japan for. Um, I didn't know about those promotions, so I thought that was really cool that he got to go out and do that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, again, so hopefully we'll be able to see you in Georgia as well very soon. And so now, looking back, is there anything that you ever felt like, okay, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have be a part of this, part of that. I know it's not easy as someone who's renting the equipment or being part of a show, creating posters and flyers, but there's times indirectly, whether you want it or not intentionally be part of something controversial or something that you don't want it to be. Is there anything that you kind of like regretted when you look back that, oh, I shouldn't have done that?
Um, I can remember. Um, I can remember uh, a promoter getting catfished,
Oh,
and he was under the impression that he was talking to a top WWE talent, and he wasn't. And so he was asking me as a designer to highlight um, posters and feature this star on the posters. And um, he was very excited about the booking. And as soon as we put it out there, like within 10 minutes, the calls came in. That's not possible. It's just not. It's just not. There's something wrong here. That's not possible.
was
I
that a
was like,
big
oh,
major star in the WWE or
at the
television?
time, yeah,
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 okay.
yeah. I don't want to name
No, no,
names
no. You
because
don't need to
that
mention
was
name. Yeah.
a very unfortunate situation, and yeah, we had to recall the show, um, and do something else completely with that. But um, yeah, got to be careful with
Wow.
who you're talking to because you never know. I actually believe that I had something like that come up on my Facebook too, where it was someone under a current WWE name asking about referees like they were going to bring me in. It's like um, I'll be at NXT for Halloween Havoc. I'll see you there. No,
It doesn't work like that way. Yeah.
no. You
Yeah.
go into it, it's like there's no way this is real. So I'll just mess with them.
And when you decided to come back, have you ever thought about, or have you ever got an opportunity to do any WWE extra work? Because I see a lot of these guys are doing WWE extra work, TNA or AEW extra work, making a big
No.
deal out of it, saying that, oh, the crazy part about it is, especially the fans, they're kind of like boosting the egos on social media, saying things like, "Oh, we're proud of you. We're so happy for you." Technically, it's just an extra work, like in the movies, like a TV show. You're there as an extra. So,
True.
is there anything?
And I've I was an extra in a movie that I don't think was ever finished. I I I don't say I was ever a part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, as far as like extra work for them, no, they're not calling me. I mean, I can see 50 from where I'm standing, so there's no reason for the top dogs to be calling me. You know, my little WWE spotlight in the sun is at Halloween Havoc. If you look up La Parca's entrance, he's putting his hands out and high fiving fans, and then for no reason at all, he jerks his hand back and then puts it back out and high fives the next people. Well, that was me. The hell.
And which year was that? Halloween Havoc.
That was this year, last
Oh,
month.
this year, last month.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, in Prescott Valley.
that was here in Prescott Valley, and
Yeah, that's
that particular show really did a good job at highlighting Prescott Valley, which
nice.
um, uh, now they have reference for the entire world. They know what Prescott Valley looks like now. The
Yeah.
sunsets that they did on that show for the drone footage for us, phenomenal. So
WWE always have a massive production, and
yeah, they
it's just
really
crazy.
did make a good do a good job at putting Prescott Valley on the map.
Nice. So, what does the future look like for Christopher Behrens?
Um, well, I'm I'm made the rounds as far as traveling really hard over the last couple of years, and um, you know, as time goes on, there's more work and money to be made on the production side of things, and a lot of that can be done locally. Um,
Have you ever
so,
thought about investing in a ring, maybe a ring rental? Since there's only one
um,
person actually rent a ring in most of the
well,
Arizona wrestling.
there are a different. There's a couple of options down there, but let's be honest. For the rings that are available in the valley, I'd be buying it from the same guy I'd be competing against. You know,
Yeah.
so unless you're buying for a promotion, um, yeah, for ring rentals, there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah. So what are the future shows coming to your way, and what are the futures looking like?
well, like last night we just finished with IZW Long Live the King, which was the last match for the Navajo Warrior, and he was up against Samoa Joe, which was a very emotional night. Um, a very packed house, standing room only, and IZW has a good future ahead of it, a good place to watch. Um, I work I work with a lot of Arizona companies, so I will be around. I'll be more south next year, I believe, um, uh, and we'll see what happens with that. Prescott Pro Wrestling will be back for four shows,
South
and
since South Arizona.
I'll be working with Thunder Mountain.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, I uh, finally got them to hopefully sign up for some trust work and some more production. See if we can get them up to speed.
Nice. Last but not least, of course, there's another more question before we go further. A few short questions, quick. What was your experience working with AWWA, promotion that never started in Arizona, promotion never been, and also you were part of the reason a lot of people don't know. I'm revealing through this podcast that Pro Wrestling Illustrated published something about AWWA, and kudos to you, thanks to you for your input and your work. And what was your experience working with AWWA in Georgia and in Arizona till there the last show?
Well, AWWA allows me to partake in uh, different parts of putting on a show. Um, uh, I work with you on um, some creative elements, um, and putting stuff together, uh, doing the social media aspect of it. Um, and I have the ability to scratch the itch for putting on my own shows and um, having that um, creative juice get utilized, um, and being able to step foot in a different role outside of refereeing, being able to move into a more authoritative role and get a chance to work the mic from a different angle. So it allows me to perform where no one else can, and where I find that I excel at is the behind the scenes stuff, communicating um, with different people and networking and making sure that we have the right people in the right places, and trying to put on um, as good of a show as possible. And it's all about entertaining the fans. And I can referee at some places, and
At the end of the day, you're
that's
a businessman, but at the same time, you're very passionate about this business. From your
yeah,
opinion, what do you
and that
think?
comes down to it is yeah, you're when you're passionate about something, you want to do every aspect of it, and AWWA allows me to do more of it, and uh, we'll see what the future brings. But uh, AWWA has allowed me to sharpen one more knife.
Absolutely, completely agree with you. And again, I was about to ask you another question. Like, and of course, this is a business, and we all lose money. Sometimes, some point, we hope that we gain all that back. But wrestling is that drug. Anytime you wanted to walk away, it pulls you back into it. You cannot just walk away. You cannot just walk away. And I'm sure, man, after listening to you, your family, the whole family situation, and you just kind of like giving your life to wrestling. And let me ask you, what do you feel like about wrestling now these days? Is there anything that you feel like it's missing? What is going to make it better? And what do you think about it?
Um, well, personally, I look at wrestling like church. I am at my most peace when I'm putting on a show. The setup times before and after the show are um, the best times. Um, Professionally, I'm there's just nothing else like it in the world. There's just not. Um, you really get a sense of um, uh, pride in doing something and working with something and putting something on that's bigger than yourself, and that's what you get to do in these moments. So uh, once the ring is set up and you have those shows where it's just you and the ring, yeah, that's you know like to put it in perspective, my dad's a hunter and fishing. He would rather be sitting on the top of a hill quietly, or sitting on the bank of a lake fishing. That is where um, that is the equivalent of the same type of piece.
Wow, it's been it's kind of like a roller coaster. the whole podcast, knowing you better, whatever you've been going through it. Anything you want to add it? Any moments you like to share over this episode? Anything that you feel like, okay, you should have said this? Because I know a lot of people don't know this. You are that person. For me personally, I'm speaking for myself. Your dedication, your passion, and your love for the business speaks for the volume of your work. You show up very, very early, set up, and you're the last person to leave the building. What I would say, an advice or anything that you wanted to say to the people involved in the wrestling, if someone wanted to be a pro wrestler or some promoters wanted to run a show. I mean, I'm not saying like, hey, tell them how to run a show or anything like that. From your experience over all these years, what do you have to say to the world of professional wrestling?
Well, uh, to to my work ethic, um, first in, last to leave is something that I put in on day one. Which when I started, like I said earlier, there were four of us, and that work ethic was just ingrained before I had even started. Um, so it got to the point where it's like, oh, if you're going to do that, you're going to be on your own. All right, well, um, and when I say first in, it's like if you're expected to be there at 3, for me it was 10. Why? I get the travel out of the way, and I have a chance to um, relax. Like I said, this has everything to do with um, finding finding your center, finding your peace. You allow time for that before you go to work, and I can't do that anywhere else but wrestling. So um, it also started um, once I started doing it, and I was doing it so much, and people started noticing production for other companies started to improve. Like I saw it last night at IZW. I've been making a point of um, getting to the venue when the venue opens. Venue opens at 10. Well, when the doors open, I'm there, and so I can get to work putting the stuff together right away. On any back in the day, it was like call times at 3. The ring shows up maybe at noon, and we'll see if we have enough time to put out our hair, which is on fire because you ain't got time to do anything, and everyone's stressed out. Um, I get there and not only have the ability to do my end of setup, but also help troubleshoot. And sometimes that's just a matter of running around um, with communication. You need this, you need that, you need this. Um, that that's really what I do. Just making sure, putting out little fires to make the day go smooth. And now it's to the point where when I show up at 10, now I have competition. I'm not the only one there anymore, and that is a good thing. So I feel like I've started something on that where production is now an all day thing, and the shows are better off for it.
Wow.
As far as last to leave, um, no one's asked me to do the final walkthrough for the venue. No one's asked that of me. I do that. I talked to the venue. They're happy. I'm happy. The rule of thumb was always I don't leave until the ring does. Well, now my side of production is another hour after the ring leaves.
I mean,
So
all that investments actually makes a big a big difference, because I wanted to say this while I was bringing AWWA in Arizona, and I already mentioned on our phone conversation, like, you made AWWA look solid and great, greater than ever before. We had a good thing. We had like solid production, solid crew, production crew, entrance, everything you call it. It was a very well organized machine. We never went about our time. We had a proper format. Every match had the match timings and everything. It happened because of you, your input, your work, and your hard work.
Well,
And
when you say it like that, I'm not alone. Um, I work with GP Productions, which is a big part of why it looked the way that it did. I'm bringing in the truss, but we have Franklin for lighting, and the production's really good there. He has a keen eye for lighting and stage design,
And
and
also,
so
a lot of people don't know this too. I just wanted to give a high five to Franklin right there. I just wanted to point it out because he even started a new gimmick with AWWA. He was starting that new character.
Nikki Saint.
Yeah, Nikki Sane. We even came up with the talk show, Nikki Sane Talk Show, and hopefully you'll be able to continue that. It was just a great team. You, Franklin, that the whole team made our show really great, amazing, great work. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to have you on future AWWA shows if there's anything out there left. But at the same time, I wanted to wish you all the success, all the happiness, everything for your careers, your future in wrestling, and also I want you to put that trademark in Arizona Pro Wrestling as well.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm honored.
All right. Thank you so much, brother. And this episode will be available on YouTube. The video podcast will be available on YouTube. The audio podcast will be available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, along with all the other episodes. So don't forget to subscribe and like, and hopefully we'll be able to see everyone with another exciting episode. And thank you so much, Christopher Behrens. I appreciate you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.